You know, every party I throw gambling parties and shit. And dude was gambling. They trying to make false refs like the dude beat somebody out some money, but the dude actually lost his money, bro. Ain't nobody really win. You know what I'm saying? Like, dude lost his money, and you know, four dude left. Dude was like, man, I won't make a piece for you. Woo-de-woo. I'm like, nigga, make me a...
Blood-stained dice slid across the velvet like a death sentence. Everybody was grinning, but only one man wasn't making it out. Duke the jeweler didn't just die, he was hunted. Surrounded by wolves in plain sight. This wasn't no random stick-up. This was an execution, and now, mob ties got blood on their hands, and the feds see it too. Duke didn't walk into danger, he was invited in. That dice game with Boosie wasn't just bad luck, it was a trap. Folks were dapping him up one second, then throwing off weird looks the next. Now those same faces are feeling that federal pressure, and 50 Cent. He's out here reposting receipts, stirring the pot, and hinting this setup goes way deeper than anybody thought. And here's where things get straight up twisted. Straight up movie-level drama. Just 2 weeks before Takeoff got taken out under the same grim dice game setup, Duke was the one shutting down the table at a J. Prince Jr. event. And when the wrong man starts stacking wins, that's when egos snap and everything starts spiraling out of control. Now the whole mob tie circle is under a microscope. Boosie, J. Prince Jr., Lil Cam, all of them. What used to be quiet whispers, that's turning into full-blown warfare. But how did it even get to this point? Zoom out. What looked like a regular dice game might have been rigged from the start, not just for money, but for elimination. On paper, Duke the jeweler was that guy. Chicago-made, self-built, shining off pure hustle. Duke wasn't out here just icing up SoundCloud rappers, he was blessing real bosses. Industry hitters with deep pockets. His name was ringing bells in every city. He didn't fly into Houston for clout, he came to secure a bag. Word is, Boosie personally called him down to chop it up about a custom piece. So Duke packed up that $1 million Louis duffel, filled with his finest work, and pulled up like a pro. But what he didn't know, that meetup might have been his last handshake, his final business move, ever. Now let's get real close on that dice game. Leaked audio from Whack 100. Yeah, real street sourced, just dropped. And it ain't sounding like no friendly match. Folks claim it was a whole setup, an operation. And guess whose name pops up again? J. Prince Jr. Word on the street, they're calling it a whole loaded dice ring. And guess who's always sitting at that table? Same trio every time. Lil Cam, Big Capri, and Wolf. They rotate the dice like it's some backroom ritual. The house don't lose unless somebody slips up on the switch. And that night, Whack says someone slipped bad. Duke got handed the wrong dice, the ones that weren't rigged. And he started hitting crazy. First a few hundreds, then racks on racks. Tens of thousands rolling in. But when you break a fixed system, the people running it don't just lose money, they lose control. And once Duke started stacking that fast, panic set in. That's when everything turned deadly. J. Prince Jr.? Insiders claim he allegedly pockets 30% off every dice night haul. So when Duke started draining stacks, it wasn't just luck, it was messing with his money. And Duke, he wasn't playing it humble either. That man showed up loud, iced out head to toe, throwing stacks like it was New Year's and flexing for the gram like he owned the whole spot. But here's where it gets spooky. If you slow down the dice game footage, you'll catch Boosie letting out this low-key whistle. Not loud, not wild, but calculated. Right after, his nephew turns and locks eyes with Duke. Then boom, some dude in a red hoodie taps the nephew's arm like a straight-up signal. That whole room, the energy shifts instantly. 1 minute, Duke's laughing, throwing dice like it's just another flex night. Next minute, it's like a silent countdown ticking down, and minutes later, Duke's gone. That vibe in the room, you can't fake that kind of pressure. It wasn't just tension, it was body language screaming something was off. Because when you step into a room where folks already decided your fate, you feel it in your bones. Still think it was random? Ask yourself this. Why would Boosie, a millionaire, bring a man carrying over $1 million in custom jewelry into a dice game packed with shady folks and not even post security at the door? Makes no sense. And J. Prince Jr., how come he didn't set up proper protection for someone flying in from out of town with that kind of heat on him? Let's rewind it back. Right to the second Duke dipped out that dice game. No security, no entourage, no driver, just him. walking solo through a dark Houston parking lot after being around millions in ice and paper all night. That don't sound right because it ain't. And here's where things go from shady to straight up sinister in minutes. Gunshots. Duke gets ambushed, fatally hit. But here's the part that makes no sense. Normally, in a setup or robbery, first thing gone is the jewelry or the cash, but Duke was still rocking everything. Not one chain snatched, not one bag touched. So how is that a robbery? This man was wearing 7-figure pieces to Boosie's concert just hours before, and he life ended with it all still on him. That's not no stick-up, that's a message. Now here's the real mic drop, that Louis Vuitton bag. Duke's personal stash, filled with unreleased one-of-a-kind jewelry designs, didn't just disappear into thin air. It ended up inside Boosie's house. Let that sink in. And this ain't hearsay. Houston PD confirmed it. Whether Duke handed Boosie the bag during the dice game for safekeeping, or whether Boosie grabbed it after the smoke cleared, that part's still murky. But one fact ain't up for debate. That bag made it back to Boosie's hands. Duke didn't. And Boosie's response? A shaky Instagram live from a plane, looking nervous and distant, swearing he barely knew Duke and claiming he just walked off. No emotion, no real answers, just vibes that got folks side-eyeing everything now. Wait a minute, didn't Boosie say Duke was making him a custom chain? But now he claiming he barely knew him? So why invite him to a private dice game? Then let him walk to his car alone, flashing $1 million in jewelry? Yeah, something's not adding up. And Boosie's reaction? Man looked spooked, pale, sweating. That wasn't grief, that was guilt or fear. And just when folks thought it couldn't get worse, it did. The feds, who were already eyeing Boosie over unrelated heat, decided to split Duke's case into its own federal investigation. No stacking it under past charges, no delays, just full focus, straight line heat on what really went down the night Duke got gunned down. And that kind of spotlight, it don't go away easy. So the feds did what they do best. They tracked Duke's phone. Last ping, Boosie's recording studio. Now, unless Duke's phone grew legs and walked there on its own, someone in Boosie's circle took it there, and they didn't even bother to cover their tracks. No wipe, no reset, they just let it go dark right after that ping, which means somebody turned it off, on purpose. That's what lit a fire under the feds. They ran full forensics on Duke's rental car, and boom, found fingerprints from Boosie's nephew and his cousin. Both had been at the dice game. And just when this story couldn't twist any harder, a new witness shows up, said they were outside smoking and spotted Duke walking alone toward his car. No security, no backup, just him. At first, it all looked calm, until Boosie's nephew slid out the shadows like he'd been waiting on Duke. No chaos, no noise, just that eerie moment right before it jumps off. Duke must have felt the setup. Folks say he swung first, tried to defend himself, but it didn't matter. One quick move, and Boosie's nephew allegedly pulled the trigger. Just like that. And the wildest part, they didn't even fake a robbery, didn't touch the chains, didn't grab the cash. Why? Because this wasn't about money, this was about silencing him. And instead of vanishing, they kept the bag. That ain't sloppy, that's straight up cocky. And guess who clocked all of this? 50 Cent. He been watching. Ever notice how when artists land in Houston, it's always that same line floating around? Make sure you check in. Ain't no official rule book, no contracts, but the code is real. Artists, influencers, athletes, they all know the drill. If you moving through Houston and you don't check in with J. Prince Jr. and the Mob Ties crew, you might be asking for smoke. But here's the part folks don't want to say out loud. What if the very people you're checking in with are the ones setting you up? Let's not twist it. J. Prince Jr. hosted that dice game. The same host where Duke pulled up. The same setup where Takeoff got was taken. Two different events. Same connection, same energy. After Duke ended up gone, that whole check-in culture flipped from protection to paranoia. Cause if J. Prince Jr. really runs the city like he says he does, then why did two guests leave in body bags? Even Whack 100 couldn't bite his tongue on this one. He straight up called it a scam ring. Said J. Prince Jr. plays the buddy role, reels in artists, gets them all relaxed, then walks them straight into a dice game surrounded by his people. Now, word is some artists are quietly pulling back, putting distance between themselves and that whole Mob Ties mess. Labels are backing out of Houston events fast. The city's starting to feel radioactive, and 50 Cent, he's been airing it out slick with it, reposting shady clips, dropping captions that ain't even subtle anymore, and taking direct shots at how the game's played. Some say he's poking the bear. Others say he's just the only one with the guts to say what everyone already knows. Meanwhile, Boosie's reportedly spiraling. Sources say he's panicked, not just because of Duke's take to life, but because the feds ain't treating it like any old case. They've separated it from his past gun charges and zeroed in on that night. They're digging through his mansions, his accounts, and even tracking his son's digital trail. But the wildest part, the real chaos might not be from the outside. It's brewing inside the circle. Word is, Boosie's own girlfriend allegedly told somebody that he ran back inside that night, looking shook and clearly hiding something. But on camera, he's still acting like he ain't know a thing. Now folks are asking the real question, if Boosie falls, who's going down with him? Cause Boosie don't move solo, his nephew's in it, his cousin's tied up, and now his name is tangled deep with J. Prince Jr., who's already sweating under his own federal spotlight. After Takeoff's death, all the loose threads started tying back to one table, and things got way messier. Finesse 2 times, the same artist Mob Ties once pushed hard, is now switching up. Used to shout out J. Prince Jr. in every interview. Now he barely says dude's name. Something definitely shifted. At first, it looked low-key. No more photos, no more concerts, no more hanging backstage with Junior, but soon the whispers started rolling, and it all leads back to a woman. Not just any woman, but Finesse's baby mama. Word is, she and her mom allegedly lined him up, called the cops, got him caught on a violation, and boom, he was locked right back up. Now Finesse don't trust nobody, and folks say that betrayal sparked a whole new wave of tension inside the Mob Ties camp. And guess who stepped in to get Finesse out? J. Prince Sr. himself. Quiet moves, high-level calls, and within 2 weeks, Finesse was back walking free. But instead of falling back and showing respect, he ran right back to the same girl that got him caught up in the first place. That's when J. Prince Sr. hit his limit and aired it out publicly on Twitter. No filters, no riddles, just this. I told the homie to stay the heck away from that woman if he loves his life. But he ain't want to hear me, even after I had to step in to get him out of prison. Y'all better wake up and stop thinking these women are looking out for you.
The arena under where we was, it was on side the parking lot, so he had to walk to his car. And that's where the incident took place when somebody, tried to get him or whatever. But Vlad, bro, if anybody know me, bro, that ain't my stilo, bro. You know what I'm saying? That ain't how I get down, bro. Like, that ain't how none of my people get down. And that's just about.
And just when folks thought that was the peak, it got even messier from here. Now here's where the whispers turned nasty. Rumors started that J. Prince Jr. might have gotten Finesse's girl pregnant behind his back. Is it confirmed? Nah. But the fact that people believe it, and Finesse hasn't denied a thing, says more than enough. Some fans brushed it off as just gossip, but others, they started connecting dots. JR got long-standing beef with Takeoff's family. He's feuding with Boosie in the shadows. And now, Finesse is spiraling right in front of us. Folks are asking the big question now. How many bridges can JR burn before the whole foundation caves in? Because here's the hard truth. When your reputation is built on silence, fear, and tight power moves, all it takes is one person to flip, one artist, one witness, one so-called friend, and everything comes crashing down. So now the question is, who's gonna crack first? Will it be Boosie? Will he finally speak up? Will Finesse let the truth slip out? Or is 50 Cent's obsession with tearing down Mob Ties gonna push J. Prince Jr. to do the unthinkable? Break the code of silence to save himself? One thing's for sure, the collapse has already started. The whispers ain't whispers anymore. They hitting like hard knocks. Behind the scenes, the feds are moving quiet but deep. They're digging through Boosie's whole estate portfolio. His Baton Rouge mansion, his land in Georgia, his bank flow. Every dollar's getting traced. This ain't just an investigation, it's surveillance now. And let's not get it twisted. This ain't just about Boosie anymore. J. Prince Jr.'s name is right in the middle of that federal radar. Artists backing away, labels pulling out. This ain't no rap beef. This is straight RICO energy. And now with Duke's possible shooter caught on tape, all it takes is one person to leak that footage to TMZ or the feds. If that video hits the light, it's game over for real. Make sure you subscribe to Gossip right now, drop a like below, and sound off in the comments. We want to hear what you think about this whole twisted mess.